We have Bob Billiard, President of Electric Motion North America, here to address some points about EM batteries. Can you talk about trial batteries?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Betsy. Yeah, first of all, we've got the trial battery here, and we've got the escape battery. Going on to the trial battery, they come in two sizes. 16 amp hour is your competition battery, and 24.5 amp hour is the standard battery that comes in on the trial bike. They're lithium polymer, and the light battery or competition battery is 19.6 pounds. The standard battery is approximately 25 pounds. If you're using your trial bike for trials only purposes, these batteries, depending on the size of the battery and depending on the type of riding you do, will last you between 2 and 4 hours. For charging the trial battery, going from 0 to 100% will take anywhere from 1 to 1.5 hours. If you're going from 0 to 80%, then you're going to be looking at 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And I'll talk more about the charger later on.
What's the running time in a typical competition trial?
Yeah, so for the 16 amp hour competition battery, you're going to make it through on a medium length trial or even a national trial. You're going to have to either charge or change out the battery halfway through. On the standard battery, the 24.5 amp, on a medium length trial, your normal club trial, you're going to be able to successfully complete the trial on one charge. It's always advantageous to have an alternate charging source when you have your lunch or take your break at a trial, but that gives you approximate what you can do. A standard Honda Yamaha generator can assist you in charging remotely.
The escape battery is different comparing to the trial battery.
Yeah, it is. It's the escape bike is more of a trial trail hybrid bike. You're certainly going to get a lot more autonomy with the escape bike, and the reason is the battery is much larger. It's a 40 amp hour battery, and but it does weigh more. It's approximately 32.5 pounds, again, depending on your style of riding, whether you're going full out on the trail or whether you're using it for trials purposes, you can get anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of running time on the escape. So there's lots of capacity for the escape battery.
I see there's a number of features on top of the battery. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, sure. I'll use the. They're both the same, but I'll use the escape to show what we've got. The first thing is we've got a safety label, and it's very important to follow the instructions on this safety label. So important that I'm going to read them out here. Charge your battery before use. Do not short circuit the battery, of course. Do not open the battery. Very important. Never open this battery. It's not safe to do so, and you will void your warranty immediately. Never expose the battery to excessive heat. Do not submerge the battery in water, salt, acid, or alkali. Store the battery in a dark, dry space. Storage of the battery should be between 10 and 25 degrees Celsius. Use only the charger supplied. Only use your specific charger. only charge the battery between 10 degrees and 40 degrees C. And please charge the battery in a timely manner after using it to avoid risk of damage. And finally, charge the battery at least once a month, even if you're not using the bike. So we're going to move on here. You can stay and we'll. This here is if we have to do a remote diagnosis of your battery, it's not often required, but if we do, we can dial in on the internet and we can, this is the port that you would plug into. This is the on-off switch. So you can hear when I turn the switch on, you can hear the battery click on, and it is now on. So over here is your battery meter. It has 10 bars in it. Right now, this battery is full, and don't worry about the blinking. It is full and on the top bar. As you use the battery, these bars will reduce. The final 3 bars are colored red, and once you get to that level, you want to get back to camp, but it takes a long time to get there. Over here is where you plug in your charger. One thing I'll note about the chargers, the charger for the Escape is different. It's the same charger, but programmed different for the trial bike. So you cannot use the Escape charger on the trial battery. If you happen to plug that into the trial battery or vice versa, no damage will come to the battery. It just won't charge. So I'll turn the battery back off. And that's what you've got on the top of the battery.
Bob, what kind of weather can the EM be ridden in?
Pretty much any weather. It can be ridden in. Regarding temperature for the batteries, they recommend that you charge the battery from 10 degrees C to 40 degrees C, which is about 45 degrees Fahrenheit up to around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But using the battery or discharging the battery while you're riding the bike, you can operate the battery down to minus 15 degrees C and up to plus 55 degrees C, which in Fahrenheit would be around 0 degrees Fahrenheit up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So quite a wide spectrum of temperature that you can ride this bike in. So that's what you'll find is if you store your bike outside and it's getting down below freezing, the temperature sensor in the battery will prevent the battery from turning on. So if you're going to take your bike out into real cold temperatures, bring the battery in the house, keep it warm, and when you go to ride, put the battery back in the bike, and you'll find your battery will work. No problem.
These bikes are certainly different from your gas bikes. How do you operate them?
It's a good question, and it's an important question. Number one, on the bikes comes a tag that tells you, that warns you to read the owner's manual before you operate the bike. It's always important to do that, and it's the only safe way to do it. They do operate different. There are some safety items to take note of, and where you'll find that information is with your bike comes a USB stick, and a lot of information on that. The first thing you want to go for is this USB stick. Sit down and have a good read of it so that you fully understand how to operate the bike and how to safely operate the bike.
Can you talk about the charging procedure, please?
Sure thing. Yeah, of course, your charger is very important to an electric bike. Electric Motion provides the highest quality of charger with the bike. It's included. Its brand name is Delta Q, And what I'm going to do is just, it's a 13.5 amp charger. And what I'm going to do is just take you through the procedure of charging your battery. As I said previously, the charger is the same charger but different setup for the escape battery versus the trial battery. But plugging one into the other, there will be no damage. It just won't charge. Now, what I'm going to do is take you through the procedure, of course, and it's very simple. So you need to charge your battery. We have the trial battery charger here. So I'm going to get ready to plug it in to the top of the battery. You can see that this battery can be charged in the bike or outside of the bike. So in the bike, you would just reach in and plug in your charger. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the charger in. The battery is off, and I'm going to plug the charger in. Now what you're going to see here is you're going to see the blue light and everything fire up on the charger. And then it shuts down, and all you're going to see is a blue light. So the blue light comes on, then the green, then the electric bolt, and you're going to see this number 8 come up. Then it all shuts off, only the blue light. Now the charger is on. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to plug the charger into the bike, into the battery, in or out of the bike. And now turning on the charger is turning on the battery. So we're going to turn the battery on, and you can hear it click. Now this battery's charged up. Come over here again. So what you're going to see once it charges, or once the charger turns on, is you're going to see this yellow electric bolt here. And you're going to see a slow green blinking light. That means it's charging. Once it gets to within 80% of the full charge of the battery, which would be very, very soon because this battery is fully charged, or it's fully charged, it will jump up here to a fast blinking green light. That'll be within the top 80%. And then when it's fully charged, everything shuts down. And that's it. Now, shortly after that, the battery itself will shut down. And the only thing you have to do after that is come back to the battery the next day, that night, whatever, and shut the battery off. And that's it.
Bob, can you expand on the battery maintenance and service, please?
Sure thing. The battery is the heart of the bike. It's the brain of the bike. And so it's very, very important that we have expertise in North America to be able to diagnose and if need be, repair these batteries with parts on the shelf. So we do have a trained technician in North America to remotely diagnose these bikes or these batteries, and if there happens to be a question or an issue with your battery, you would, if it requires servicing, then you would send the battery to him. He would fix it up and send it back to you or to the dealer. Now, the batteries, the nice thing about the electric motion battery is that it can be taken apart and individual parts replaced, so that you don't have to replace the whole battery if you have an issue. And that is very important because the costs of lithium polymer batteries are quite high, no matter what battery you're looking at. So it's a great thing to be able to have a technician and the parts on the shelf to keep the costs of any issues down to a minimum. Now, the batteries are very reliable, but nothing is ever perfect. But we have a procedure in place, a process in place to service you as best we can.
What is the proper handling of the battery, Bob?
Yeah, there's a leather handle affixed to the battery, and that's what you'll use to carry it and take it in and out of the bike. So what you want to do is pick it up by the leather handle only. You don't want to be using the leads to carry it. So you would handle it this way, tip it into the bike, and slide it in. So always with the leather handle, never with the leads.
Is there anything else that you'd like to expand on?
Yeah, so that really wraps it up with the electric motion battery. It's new technology. Mind you, EM's been working on their technology for the last 5 years, but it's new to a lot of people. I will say that Electric Motion North America has been with Electric Motion France since the beginning. We had the first bike, prototype bike here, 001, back 5 years ago, and I can tell you that we have a lot of bikes out in the market, and the batteries are still working very well. The latest information we got was from the importer in Italy, and he has his very original bike from back in 2012, and has easily over 2,000 charging cycles on the battery, and he says it operates, he tells me it operates as it did as it was new. These batteries are rated to last 1,000 charging cycles, which would be 8 to 10 years. We know that we have batteries in excess of 2,000 charging cycles. So it gives you the idea of when you're thinking, well, when do I have to replace this battery? In most cases, the battery is going to outlast the bike and probably yourself. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope that clears up any questions or at least answers most of them. And well, we'll see you out on the trail.